I want to preface this video by saying I know I said the next video was going to be the Soul Reaver review. It was supposed to be a marathon thing where I hit all of the Legacy of Kain videos back to back to back to back. However, there were some problems, complications. First of all, getting this game running on a modern machine is troublesome. Moreover, the controls are terrible, and I've been working some workarounds to make it work. Double that with the fact that the game is way longer than I remember it being, and it's taken me some time. And I want to do the game justice. I want to beat it before I do a video on it and talk about it. So instead of not doing any video and waiting until this is done, in the meanwhile, I've been playing on my Let's Play channel for the past 3 years, Subnautica, and I really want to talk about this game in some manner other than this Let's Play series that I did over on my Let's Play channel. So I figured I'd do a video on it here, and I hope you guys enjoy. I apologize for the wait on Soul Reaver, but that should be next. Anyway, let's talk about Subnautica. It takes a lot for a game to make me sit back, think about it, and really wish I could wipe the entire game from my memory just so I can experience the whole thing again with a fresh, naive, blind view. To be able to play through without knowing what's around the next corner, or what surprises await me in the next hour, or what twist or turn the story might take that came about in a totally unexpected fashion. There's probably only a small handful of games in my lifetime that have really made me wish I could experience them again like this. And I'm sitting here, hours after having finished Subnautica, with the feeling in my gut, sad, that the entire experience is over, and I'll never get to be able to play Subnautica in the same way again. It reaches that height for me where few games do, and I wish I could play it again without any knowledge of how the game would play out. So let's dive into Subnautica and find out why it's so dang good. See what I did there? Dive in? Water? Ocean game? Get it? That's why they pay me the big YouTube bucks, I'll tell you. There's something about survival games that really interests me. A real player versus environment feel, where everything is out to get you, including the weather and your own body in some cases. The drive to explore an unknown world, all while keeping a close eye on your character's personal needs for food, water, and in some circumstances, calorie intake and body temperature. Stuff you just can't do at home. But in all seriousness, this mix of micromanagement and exploration in the survival genre tends to lead to some really fun emergent gameplay and stories. That moment where I dove too deep with not enough food or water, finding myself holed up in a cave being chased by some unknown sea monster, realizing that I'm either going to die of starvation here or try and escape and die to the sea monster that had been hunting me, are the reasons I play these types of sandbox survival games. My survival story will not be the same as yours or another player's, and that moment-to-moment gameplay and that emergent story are the reasons I keep coming back to the sandbox survival genre. And I'm clearly not alone, as even dipping your pinky toe into the sea of early access titles on Steam will have you instantly devoured by the half-baked and unfinished survival games in alpha. And I've tried a lot of them. Like, way too many of them. This road is actually raised above this ground, so when the zombie died, he just fell through and landed on whatever this is. 1900 by 1920 by 1080, and okay, what just happened? So for me to say that a survival game is not only really dang good, but also a game that I hold to such a high regard that I wish I could experience all over again, yeah, that's something incredibly special for me. While Subnautica does a lot of the typical survival stuff, and does it well, mind you, managing food and water, building a base, living off the land, etc., its strengths are what it does differently from so many different games it finds itself in the company of. Subnautica easily could have just said, it's a survival game underwater, have fun, and had a pretty decent game on their hands. And to the game's credit, its setting underwater does a lot to set itself apart from many other types of these games. Where most survival games toss you into the vast wilderness of some sort, surrounded by forests and wildlife and sometimes monsters, the opening moments of Subnautica immediately toss all of that out the window as you come crawling out of your life pod, being the sole survivor of a crashing space vehicle onto an alien world. Everywhere you turn, you're surrounded by endless blue and the stretching open ocean. The only option you have is to jump in and begin your exploration, marking one of the biggest strengths Subnautica has: exploration. Those first moments of diving into the water, swimming around in a gorgeous, colorful, sometimes mysterious, and even sometimes dangerous ocean is mystifying. Creatures are swimming around you, looking both familiar and totally alien all at once. Little caves, tunnels, and corners are all begging to be explored, and I'll be damned if I didn't immediately go and explore them. Oh god, where am I? Oh, wait, is that the way I came from? No, that's not right. Oh god, the walls are closing in. Oh, I'm running out of oxygen. Hang on, did I come from over here? Maybe this way. No, that goes deeper. Oh god, I can't breathe. I'm lost. Oh yeah. By the way, this game is really, really scary. I'm talking true horror, not that crappy jump scare kind of horror. No, I'm talking edge of your seat dread. And what the heck was that noise coming from the deep darkness kind of scary? Very few games can elicit a sense of genuine horror. Too many rely on jump scares. But Subnautica taps into that natural fear of the unknown. And if you have thalassophobia, oh boy, good luck, my friend. Swimming around in Subnautica with nothing but the moonlight to light my way in the deep, dark waters, hearing the distant roaring of something you'd never seen before, had me sweating and panicking in such a way that few games had. It had me begging openly for the game to just leave me alone. Please, God, just leave me alone. Let me live. I swear I'll never come back here if you just let me live. And that kind of horror is rare in most video games nowadays. I have not experienced something so awfully terrifying in a video game since maybe the Amnesia days first came around. Oh, Jesus. What the f was that noise? Hide. Okay, just hide. But the developers took time to really learn what makes the deep ocean something to be scared of, what makes it something a lot of people fear, and they absolutely nailed it. I've been playing Subnautica since its very first release in 2014 in its earliest access phase, and the thing I've said since day one is that its audio design is nothing but top notch. The music for each biome is distinct, different, and sets the mood perfectly, and you'll soon realize that you're pairing that music with the type of wildlife that to come to expect in that biome and start preparing for the dive ahead purely on the noises that you're hearing. And the muted noises of the wildlife in each biome is something you wouldn't be surprised to hear coming out of our very own ocean here on Earth. It's that good and that realistic, and does a lot to make you feel immersed in the game itself. The reefback's whale-like call in particular is one sound I love to hear, and indicates that you're in a bit of a safe area. And the distant, muted, horrifying roars of the bigger creatures that I'll try not to spoil here at a distance are the kinds you quickly learn and never forget. So sure, the world and the immersion and the setting are clearly departures from your normal grab bag survival game. But the biggest surprise that I had with Subnautica was the one thing I've never seen a survival game do, or at least do well. And that was a proper good old story. A beginning, a middle, and an end. See, most games in this genre leave you to just finish playing when you get bored, or you've built a big enough base to live forever, or you've died enough times that, yeah, you're kind of done playing this game. But Subnautica tells a story. A few stories, actually. And each are well worth exploring and learning in their own right. I won't spoil anything because I firmly believe the surprises and twists that come along in this game as you play are worth experiencing completely blind, but suffice to say that the game continues to throw mysteries at you that really have you questioning what the hell is actually happening, and if what's waiting deeper below in the dark depths of this alien ocean are even more horrifying than what you've already encountered. Moreover, the story is laid out in such a way that is logical and gently nudges you in the direction of constant progress, with new technology to discover, new resources to collect, and new exciting and horrifying biomes to explore, with a plethora of new flora and fauna to discover, research, and hide from. The game is gorgeous, it sounds incredible, and the story is enthralling. So yeah. I'm in love with Subnautica. It's not perfect, however. The pop-in can get pretty bad, and it's really jarring to see what looked like a pretty empty field immediately stutter and detail itself a few feet from where you are, and all the flora and fauna to magically appear in front of you. It can utterly wrench you out of the immersion and remind you that you're playing a video game. Another issue I personally had was the FOV. It's desperately small and constantly added to my disorientation, even outside of cave systems where I had plenty of distance to see everything. It's too narrow for my liking, even maxing it out in the options menu, and I thought it could have done better to be widened a bit. And if you suffer from motion sickness from small FOVs, this one is something worth noting. It can be killer and unnecessarily problematic, and I wish they had let you kind of broaden the FOV to your particular likes. As a rabid fan of the survival genre who feels like lately the genre has gotten boring and stagnated and stale, Subnautica is proof that in the right hands, there's plenty of life left in it. I want to see more games go in this direction, with a tight narrative, a fun, engaging living world to explore and enjoy, and a little bit of fear just for good measure. I heartily recommend Subnautica to anybody who enjoys this type of game. And those who don't, maybe dive back in and see if Subnautica is more up your alley. It's that good. You guys have no idea how happy this game makes me. As a massive fan of the survival genre, to see a game really reinvigorate it after it's been so tired and boring for so long brings such a smile to my face. It brings a promise that there's so much more that can be done with the groundwork of managing food and drink and body heat and calories and all this other nonsense. That there could be a compelling story and a new mysterious world and so much more magical excitement and exploration to be put forth in these games. And I want to see more developers not take the shortcut and just say, hey, it's a battle royale now, or hey, it's another survival game in the woods with bears and maybe some zombies if you're lucky. No, do something different, and this is what Subnautica does. And that's why I, the Honorable Judge Mathas, judge this game as innocent. It does almost everything right. There's a few hiccups along the way, but no game is perfect. But for that alone, and for any survival game fan, you should be playing Subnautica. And if you're not a survival game fan, like I said, maybe play Subnautica anyway and see if it does what you wanted survival games to do. And hey, if you don't want to mess with food and drink and water and all that stuff, the game allows you to play a mode where you only have to worry about your health, or you just worry about nothing other than exploring and building. The game tries to cater to all the different types of players out there. Just go play Subnautica. Trust me, it's worth it. So my question to you is less simple than normal. I could easily say what's your favorite survival game out there in the plethora of survival games that exist, but let's go a little bit different. What's your favorite game that subverts or changes or redefines a genre of video game? I'm not saying Subnautica redefines survival games, but it definitely breathes some life into it, and I'm excited for it. So I'm curious what you guys think are a game that takes a dead genre or a boring one that's been done over and over again and really refreshes it or changes it or puts a neat twist or gimmick into it. I'm excited because if there's some out there that are for some genres that I'm bored of, I'm happy to check out the games you guys recommend. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been really good to get back into this with PAX South and everything, and then coming back and doing like a top 10 list for the games of 2017. I've been really eager to get back to a proper Judge Mathas video, and this one proved to be a challenge for a lot of reasons, mostly the script writing aspect. When you take a break for like 2 to 3, maybe even 4 weeks, I can't remember last time I wrote a script for a review, you really get writer's block, and it definitely happened to me. So it's really good to get this kind of the ball rolling again and get back up on the horse. Also, thank you to all my Patreon members. If you guys want to support me directly and get a bunch of little extras and goodies, you can go check out the Patreon link below. It directly supports the channel and bypasses any of the YouTube ad-pocalypse nonsense that's been happening here on the channel. But if you don't, you just watch the channel for your own liking. Thank you guys so much for being a wonderful audience and wonderful viewers. I'll be back in a couple of weeks with a brand new video here on the channel, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.